So, as it turns out, the PS5 Pro is the best place to play Forza Horizon 5. I never thought I'd see the day where Xbox games were being played best on a PlayStation console. What strange times we are currently living in. Welcome back to the channel, guys. We have more gaming and PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to go over. A huge shout out to the channel members. If you enjoyed the video today, please remember to hit that like button and show your appreciation. As always, your support on the daily videos and across the channel is always very much appreciated. Right then, Microsoft has been quietly making moves to bring its popular titles to PlayStation, and it's doing more than just basic ports. Much like what we saw with the Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, Microsoft is making sure their games make the most of PlayStation's hardware, especially with the upgraded PS5 Pro. The latest game to benefit from this approach is Forza Horizon 5. Now, if you're familiar with Forza Horizon 5, you know it's already one of the best open world racing games out there. It's got a massive map, a huge selection of cars, and tons of racing events to keep you busy. But with its arrival on the PS5 Pro, it's getting a bit of a performance makeover, and from the reports, the changes are pretty impressive. Digital Foundry, who are well renowned as the technical analysts within the gaming industry, did a deep dive into the PS5 version and found that the PS5 Pro is where the game really shines. The differences between the regular PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X versions are minor, almost impossible to tell apart. But on the PlayStation 5 Pro, that brings something extra to the table. One of the standout features is the performance mode on the Pro. It gives you smoother frame rates, which is a big deal for racing games, without sacrificing the high level of visual detail you normally get in the quality mode. For example, the trees, grass, and foliage in general looks just as good as they would have in the higher quality graphics mode, but now you're getting that at a much better frame rate too. Basically, you're not forced to choose between the visuals and the performance, you get both. And even though Forza Horizon 5 has been around for years now, it's still holding strong. Critics have praised it for its massive range of activities, solid driving mechanics, and just how much fun it is to play. Sure, it's got a few issues. The game can feel bloated at times, the AI isn't always great, and the characters and dialogue don't really add much, but when you're behind the wheel, none of that really matters. It's just pure fun. The game is officially dropping on the PlayStation 5 on April the 29th, so if you're a racing fan with a PS5 Pro, this might be the best version of Forza Horizon 5 to play yet. What are your thoughts on this game? Are you planning on picking this up next week? Let me know in the comments, and let's move on to talk about RoboCop's brand new standalone expansion, Unfinished Business. So this is a brand new standalone expansion to the hit shooter RoboCop Rogue City, which released in 2023, and it's coming to PlayStation, Xbox, and PC on July the 17th. If you've played the original Rogue City, you'll know it brought RoboCop back into style, capturing that gritty, over-the-top vibe of the old-school films. The game wasn't just about mindless shooting, it mixed action with a bit of investigation and story, and it was well received for doing that. Now, with Unfinished Business, the story continues. The expansion picks up right after RoboCop defeats the villain known as New Guy in Town and brings down Detroit's major gangs. For a moment, things seem calm, but that doesn't last very long. Crime is back on the rise, and the city's future is once again at risk. This time around, the big conflict centers on the Omni Consumer Products Company, better known as OCP, unveiling a new housing project called the Mini Tower. It's supposed to be a symbol of hope for people of old Detroit, promising a better life. But things go sideways quickly. A group of elite mercenaries attack the police station and take over the Mini Tower. Now it's up to RoboCop to step in and deal with the threat. The expansion introduces a bunch of new gameplay elements. You'll be able to use new weapons, including a cryo cannon that freezes enemies, and go up against new foes like androids armed with katanas. There's also a brutal new finishing move, and for the first time ever, players will get to experience flashback scenes where you actually play as Alex Murphy, RoboCop's human identity, before he became the cyborg cop. The entire expansion is set within the Omni Tower, a massive, dangerous structure that RoboCop has to fight his way through. It sounds like the old Dread movie from 2012, just non-stop action in a towering building full of enemies. And yes, Peter Weller is back once again, lending his voice and likeness to RoboCop, which adds a nice layer of authenticity for fans of the movies. One more thing worth noting though is that this is a standalone expansion. That means you don't necessarily need to own Rogue City to play Unfinished Business. You can buy the standalone expansion on its own and jump directly into the game. However, I would advise play the original game. You can pick it up for between 15-20 bucks. My advice, go and play Rogue City, have a blast, and then when this game comes out in July, it'll be fantastic. The pricing at the moment hasn't been announced, so we'll just have to wait and see what that looks like when it's announced. RoboCop Rogue City is a really good game, a lot of fun. Great gameplay mechanics for a shooter. I had a blast playing this and I'm looking forward to the expansion when it's out in the summer. Let me know what you think in the comments and let's move on. If you're a Final Fantasy fan, there is some exciting news that might have just dropped under the radar. While Square Enix hasn't made anything official yet, there are strong signs pointing to progress on the next installment in the trilogy. Specifically, voice recording for Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 might have already started. This all started when Cody Christian, the voice actor for Cloud Strife in the English version of the game, posted a rather telling update. He shared a picture of Cloud and wrote that he was so happy to be back with my bestie. While he didn't name the game directly, the context makes it pretty obvious. He's clearly back in the studio working on something, and with Cloud as the image paired with the message, fans quickly connected the dots. Now it's worth noting that voice actors usually come into a project during the latter stages of the game development cycle, so if Cody Christian really is back behind the mic as Cloud, it likely means that the game has reached a pretty mature phase in its development cycle. That also lines up with reports from earlier this year from key developers involved in the Remake series. Naoki Hamaguchi, who's directing the project, and Yoshinori Kitase, the longtime producer and face of Final Fantasy's franchise, have both confirmed that Part 3 is moving along smoothly. In fact, Hamaguchi even mentioned that he's personally very happy with the progress. So while we don't have trailers or gameplay footage just yet, things are definitely moving forward behind the scenes. And here's another interesting bit. While a release window hasn't been locked down, early reports suggest the third chapter is aiming for a 2027 release. That timing actually makes a lot of sense. Not only would it give the team enough space to deliver a polished product, but it also lines up perfectly with the 30th anniversary of the original Final Fantasy VII game, which first released back in 1997. Releasing Part 3 in the anniversary year will be a fitting tribute and a great marketing move too. There were also some concerns floating around about the platform exclusivity, especially with talk about the PlayStation 6 already on the horizon. But according to Kitase, Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 isn't being built as a PS6 exclusive title. That means players on current generation consoles like the PlayStation 5 can breathe easy, as this game will be coming to platforms you already own. Kitase also revealed that the team didn't take much of a break after Final Fantasy VII Rebirth wrapped up. Development on Part 3 began pretty much right after Rebirth was completed, which explains why we're already hearing about updates about the voice work just months later. So to sum it all up, while there isn't an official press release or a trailer to break down just yet, all signs are pointing to a Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 entering a new phase of production, likely with voice work now underway. Cody Christian's hint, paired with confirmation from the developers earlier this year, paints a promising picture for what's to come. It's clear that Square Enix is staying committed to delivering a complete remake trilogy, and with the 30th anniversary of the original game coming up in 2027, there's a good chance that we will see Part 3 drop right around then. Are you excited to see how the story wraps up in Part 3? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.